Hello and welcome to Dingoes Ate My Podcast. I'm Paul.
And I'm Dave.
And this week we are discussing the episode Carpe Noctem. This episode originally aired October 15th, 2001, attracting approximately 4.99 million viewers. Alrighty, so let's start off with video games for this week. On the day this episode aired, October 15th, we had two games come out. One on the Game Boy Advance called Lady Saya, which is some platform game on the GBA. Who cares? Also,
some people, I'm sure, but yeah, it's nothing I remember.
I feel like nobody's heard of this game. It's made by companies I've never heard of. It was developed by RFX Interactive. I don't know who that is. And they don't even have a Wikipedia page.
Yeah.
So they probably didn't.
Doesn't make good sense.
Yeah. On Windows, PS2, GameCube, Xbox, and the Game Boy Advance on the same day, we got Batman Vengeance. Which is not a very good game. Just, it's kind of bang average, if I remember correctly. Okay.
The very most I remember the title box of it. But,
Oh yeah, the art, the box art. I'm like, oh, I know this absolutely. But then I'm like, oh, this game was kind of just bang average. Okay, Dave, I feel like this is gonna be a big one for you, even though it wasn't for me. On the PS2, on October 17th, we got a little game called Devil May Cry.
This would probably surprise you, but it is not quite my cup of tea because I don't like being stuck on the opening part of level for several hours because I can't beat a single enemy.
Touche. Okay. I don't know what this is, but I need to find out. October 18th on the Game Boy Color. For some reason, they were still releasing things on the Game Boy Color at this point. E.T. Digital Companion. It's something to do with the E.T. the movie E.T. Wait, okay, I just found a way. Okay, wait. The cartridge is designed to turn the Game Boy Color handheld into a child-friendly personal digital assistant. Features an address book, calendar, a clock, and a to-do list. What?
Huh.
Kids can protect their personal information with a password or print it out on the Nintendo Game Boy printer. Oh my god, Dave.
On the one hand, I'm not too surprised. There most likely has to be at least one or two kind of games that have to be like that in some kind of respect.
I have to know how much this costs. I'm sorry, but
oh boy.
Oh my god. It's not even that expensive.
Oh. Not even typical game price around the time?
It's like $17.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, Dave, did you ever see the Game Boy printer, actual printouts from it?
Not specifically, no.
Oh, okay, because it was the shittiest printer ever. I'm gonna just quickly.
No, I vaguely remember that from anyone who usually comments about it.
I'm gonna just shoot you because somebody's trying to sell these printouts on eBay, and I'm gonna just put one in chat for you so you can see what it looks like. It's the worst fucking printer ever.
Yeah, a bit. At the very least, you can actually make out the image on there, but
it's really
I'm pretty sure
pixelated and bad.
Just you could even put it on a setting on a regular printer, and you could probably get this.
Oh, a regular printer would do so much better. I kind of almost want to buy this because it's so obscure and random and weird.
Ain't that usually the case, but then that starts to dive into crazy collector territory.
Oh shit, they want $15 shipping to Canada? Fuck you.
Yeah, that's usually how they get you.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, it's not worth $31 to me, even though it's very, very funny. I don't even know why I find it so funny. It's just I just love the idea of a kid's portable PDA with the Game Boy Color. That's hilarious. Anyway, October 21st, a little game was released on Windows, which I don't expect you to be familiar with, but it's a little game called Stronghold.
Yep, no clue.
No, okay, kind of expected. It's like you take place. It takes place in like medieval Britain around the year like I want to say like between 1050 and 1100. I don't remember exactly, but it's a game that's definitely has a following and like still gets re-releases and I think some sequels and stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, it was I remember it being quite good. Like you're basically like the lord of a little kingdom and you have to run that. Anyway, so that's about it for video games, but oh my god, I'm going to tell everybody right now, you definitely want to be here for next week because they're holy shit, there's some bangers. Just a little tease. Alrighty, so number one song in America this week. Any idea what that would be, Dave?
I think I'd just keep it to the safest bet and supposedly stick with Alicia Keys, or has she been dethroned?
She has been dethroned.
Mild neatness. By something decent or something worse?
I couldn't tell you for sure because I'm not familiar with the song. It is a song called I'm Real Murder Remix by Jennifer Lopez featuring Ja Rule.
Jennifer Lopez?
Yes. Don't ask me anything about it because I don't know. And I didn't
Yeah,
listen to it.
no, it's a case of most likely it's somewhere rattling around in my brain, but unless I hear the opening bars to it, that earworm is thankfully locked away within my head.
Alrighty. Now, for number one movie in America this week, any guesses, Dave?
Hmm. Still around Halloweeny, around that
This
part
is
of
a
the year.
more, I would say, this is a more like appropriate film for Halloween than we had previously, than Training Day. There's a bit of a spookums to this film.
It's just the question of how much of a spookum.
It's not. I wouldn't say it's a full on horror movie, but it's definitely got some spooks.
Just enough to make your skin crawl, supposedly.
I mean, I guess it depends who you are.
Hmm.
Any ideas?
Again, nothing is popping up in my head for a title, though.
Okay. So, number one movie in America this week is a little movie called From Hell, with just over $11 million at the box office. I know this film because it's based off of the Alan Moore Eddie Campbell graphic novel. Unfortunately, the movie does not do a very good job of adapting it.
It kind of took its own interpretation.
Uh, so I'm going to be completely honest, and I don't think you can adapt From Hell as a movie. Like, I feel like it should at least be a miniseries because it's like, I want to say it's around 600 pages. It's quite a long comic, and I just don't feel it suits itself to be like a 2 hour movie. But yeah, I mean, the adaptation, it's fine. Like, it's got like decent star power and everything. Like, it's Johnny Depp, Heather Graham. Like, there's stars in it. It's just, eh, it's not great.
Yeah. Again, kind of understandable with Hollywood getting its hands on a movie and going from there. They can only supposedly do so much, but then it's also a case of the other marketing and whatnot. It's kind of nudging their own particular ideas with it.
It was also in a time before like comic book adaptations were ever good.
Yeah.
Like 2001 was a rough time if you liked comic adaptations because like there weren't many good ones.
Like
There
at the
was
very most, it was those particular series of movies, such as the Resident Evils or other particular ones done by that particular director,
well
and or
those are video game adaptations, but I get your point. Like, yeah, there was like, I think Resident Evil's 2002, but like for comic book movies, like the best ones you had had at this point was like the first two Superman movies, and like there were a couple of good Batman movies, and then there really wasn't anything else.
Yeah, Spider-Man wouldn't come until a couple years later.
Uh, Next year, 2002.
Around that time.
Summer of 2002, because that was the first free comic book day. Fun little fact.
No, as it is, it wasn't until around that time that there really was much anything. But it's also kind of understandable because Superman and Batman were kind of the big super ones that it's like, if you didn't really know comic books, you would at least know them.
Yeah, like you had the Batman movies at this point, and like some of those are pretty good, but then there's some really crap ones. And then, Blade had come out at this point, and Blade was good.
True. Though I'm pretty sure if you didn't really know where he came from, it's like, oh man, an actual new idea. Until someone's like, oh, this was a comic book.
I mean, in all fairness, the Blade movie is basically a new idea, just with a comic book title on it, because most of the stuff in that movie is not exactly comic accurate.
No, completely understandable.
Yeah, like a lot of the really good stuff we wouldn't get for a while. Oh, I have to watch that movie at some point. I just saw on the list that I Kill Giants got a movie, and I'm like, oh, I have to watch that. I just finished that comic again. Anyway, we're getting off topic. Let us get back to the episode.
Indeed.
So we're going to do a quick plot synopsis here. Now, I will note, because this is a body switch episode, I will refer to Angel and Marcus as the character they are rather than the body they're in. Okay?
Oh, that's understandable. Make it easy.
Everybody understand? Very good. Let's continue, class. Okay. Fred shares her admiration for Angel in front of the rest of the team as she theorizes what he is reading upstairs. Angel comes down from his room with a newspaper and invites everyone to a Charlton Heston double feature, which only Fred is delighted to accept. The next evening, Fred gushes about her date to Wesley and Cordelia. Concerned, Cordelia instructs Angel to have a talk with Fred, which Angel avoids by bringing up a string of deaths in hotels, which involved melted bodies, and he insists he needs to investigate right away.
Because, there's a job that needs to be done, despite the fact that they're not going to get paid for it.
I love how that gets brought up, and it's like, who's paying us for this? Shut up. Okay. The team finds out that the men killed were all members of the same gym. Angel and Cordelia arrive there, and Cordelia promptly interviews the muscled men and questions them for their phone numbers primarily. Angel notices a retirement home across the street where an old man is seen peering at them with binoculars. He leaves Cordelia and confronts the old man, Marcus, who recites a spell that switches their bodies. While Marcus enjoys himself in Angel's vampiric body, Angel tries to leave the retirement home in the frail Marcus's body to warn the gang of the imposter in their midst. Meanwhile, Lila continues to clash with her co-worker Gavin over their tactics to take down Angel and his group. She goes to the hotel to bring Angel documents that would foil Gavin's attempt to evict him from the hotel, since it wasn't up to code to one-up him. Marcus tells her that she is a very beautiful woman, and they start kissing each other. Fred, who was given the same line by Marcus earlier and instructed her to wear something pretty to go out, sees them and runs away in tears. Marcus vamps out in his passion and bites Lila, who is furious with him for playing games, and runs out. Marcus tries to figure out what happened and is shocked to find that he doesn't have a reflection. He spends the night shredding the contents of files related to his murders and goes through books researching vampires, realizing that this body will never give out on him and planning to kill Angel, who is in his old one. Cordelia finds Fred sobbing in the elevator and finds out about Marcus's actions. Wesley finds the office littered with books and correctly theorizes that Angel's body has been taken over. He, Gunn, Cordelia, and Fred rescue Angel from being killed, and he is returned to his own body. Marcus angrily tells him that he wastes his life instead of taking advantage of what he has. Angel tells him that his heart is weak because he doesn't use it. An upset Marcus has an onset of a fifth heart attack as Angel and his team walk out together. They had foreshadowed this because when Angel was in Marcus's body, he had a fourth heart attack and was told he probably couldn't survive another one. Back at the Hyperion, back at the Hyperion, Angel finally sits down with Fred for the long overdue talk. However, she stops him as Cordelia had already explained to her about Angel's curse, as well as having no romantic feelings for her. As Fred notes that Angel will probably be better off without love in his life, they get interrupted as Cordelia comes in telling Angel that Willow has just called and that Buffy is alive. Dun dun dun. So,
call back from the old series of, oh man, Buffy died, and all that particular sort of stuff. The series still keep going, bring her back.
So what do you think of this episode, Dave?
On whole, it definitely worked out fairly decent. Again, I can't specifically call too many Freaky Friday movies or types of episodes that immediately come to mind, but it wasn't one that made me cringe or want to bash my head into a wall. On whole, it worked out fairly well with both characters sort of working, kind of discovering what they kind of could do, the issue and problems that would all sort of come up, and also just the hilarity of the old guy messing around in Angel's body.
They did do a body swap episode on Buffy. If you remember, it was an episode called Who Are You? And it's from season 4, and it's where Faith and Buffy switch bodies.
Oh man, I can hardly remember that.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
I wouldn't be surprised, but
yeah, it's a fun episode. But yeah, they don't do it a ton, and they're rarely good. I'm not gonna lie. Like, these kind of episodes are usually kind of lame. Alrighty, now, did you have anything else about this episode there, Dave? You there?
No, still here.
Okay.
Nothing immediately in mind. I think also a bit of the case that they're building up the relationship with the two characters from Wolfram and Hart. Just the case of one going through his particular actions to try to take Angel down, and again, sort of going with the same sort of dynamic that names are escaping me, but Leslie and female office worker kind of had.
Cordelia?
Then her also kind of going, yes. But then her sort of going in, foiling it, sort of to affect plans in that sort of way. It was an interesting sort of way to kind of bring her into the story, as well as see issues like that come up.
Yeah, no, it's a fun little thing. All right, so if there is nothing else, so obviously we know now that Angel knows that Buffy is alive again. And if you were hoping to see them reunited, it will not happen. We will not see it on screen on either series, because they just decided to not do it.
Yeah, no, it was kind of a thing, especially within Angel series, how things were left off with them the last time that they did meet up. Just, oh boy.
Well, I think it's also a legal thing because they're on different networks at this point.
Yeah, that also kind of throws a wrench into things too.
Because Buffy's on UPN and Angel's on WB, and I feel like that would have been a bit of an issue. I don't know for sure, but that's an assumption I'm making. Alrighty, so let us look. International titles. So we only have 2 for this one, but they're not, well, one's better than the other, I think. So in German, it translates as The Spirit of Marcus, which I feel like that isn't very good.
Yeah, not the greatest.
In French, though, it's In Angel's Skin.
Yeah, that somewhat works, but as it sits, you can't beat out a title when it uses Latin for it.
I mean, this is true. Alrighty. So, if there's nothing else about this episode, next week we'll be discussing a little episode called Fredless.
Hmm.
So, in this episode, Fred's parents, Roger and Trish Burkle, arrive in town from Texas for a visit and plan to take Fred home with them, prompting Fred to run away. Angel and the gang go in search of Fred, but are these really her parents? And what is it about them that scared Fred so much that she felt she had to flee? And what is the strange beast with glowing eyes that is following Angel around? I'm sure none of these things will be important. And, yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, that does seem concerning within multiple sentences.
Yes. It's, well, it's going to be an episode. There's, ooh. There's this episode and the one after it. Let's just say, okay, this episode, so Fredless is a really interesting episode, and then the next episode after that is Billy, which they're going to tie up a loose end from earlier in the season. So these are both pretty important little episodes.
Duly noted.
Yes, and they came out when there's some good video games that had just hit the market. Anyway, until next time, I'm Paul.
And I'm Dave.